Hello all. Alright, a little rain last night. Not much, maybe just enough to wet the ground here in San Francisco. But other parts of California got a little bit more rain, but not enough to do anything about the drought. I wanted to talk to you guys about something that's an absolute devastation to the planet, and that's global climate change, and how the US and other countries aren't paying much attention to it. We just had a huge heat wave in both the North and South Poles that I talked about in the last video. But yet, Biden here in the US has decided to give a huge bloated Pentagon budget to the Congress. And do you know what will happen when the Congress gets this over-budgeted military budget? They'll add to it a lot, and it will come out to over $1 trillion this year. That's our liberal president has proposed $813.3 billion for the U.S. military budget alone. And the problem is, with that, is that doesn't include a lot of things. There's so many things that aren't included that will bring this budget much higher. 31 billion more than last year. 773 billion for the Pentagon alone. 5 billion for space-based missile warning system. No money for health care. VA care is dismal and needs help, but no money for the VA. Ukraine spent 5 billion on arms last year and has destroyed over 40% of the Russian army in 4 weeks with just 5 billion. And they spent it on weaponry. Now, what does that tell you? That tells you that the military-industrial complex is in full operation, and that the arms industry is just clapping their hands, and people are investing their money in stocks in these companies because they know that they'll get endless war budgets like they are now. I thought that Biden was supposed to be on the left. That's a joke. Biden is no more on the left than any other president has been. They just spend on the military. No health care for us, nothing for the environment, and what do the people get? Any kind of health care? Our health care system is dismal and non-existent, especially if you don't have any money. If you're part of most of the country which is poor now and not wealthy, even though they think they're wealthy, but they're not. It's amazing how quickly and easily people are bamboozled with military budgets, thinking that it means freedom, when really all it means is you get less health care, no infrastructure plan, nothing to do with the environment, just endless money for the military, the Pentagon, and the spy agencies, and now space-based militaries, which is absolutely such a waste of time when we've seen that Russia is no threat at all. And who else is going to attack the U.S.? China? They have a small military budget as well. It's so disgusting how much money we waste on the military-industrial complex. And another reason is that we do this is so that the very wealthy can invest in endless stocks for Martin and other companies that make military hardware and arms. Did you know that most of the Russian military's armament is defective and isn't working? It is actually self-destroying itself. But yet, we're bamboozled into thinking that this means freedom for the U.S. and that we have to spend that much money. And every time I talk about this, we get people coming on my channel saying, it's freedom, you're looking at freedom. Freedom, my ass. It's pure manipulation of the mind, and us falling for it for no reason at all. The military-industrial complex will live on, and unfortunately will probably be the end of the U.S. and the world, because we spent the money on the military and not the environment, not infrastructure, not health care. We spent it, as we do every year, on the military, industrial complex. It really is quite disgusting, isn't it? Let's go up the trail here and see what there is. You know that we're spending billions of dollars on upgrading our nuclear weapons? Why are we upgrading something that can't be used? Who's going to even know whether our nuclear arsenal is upgraded or not if we don't say anything? It's silly. What? They're going to send a nuke to us and then we're going to send all our nukes to them and expect to survive this? Tell me any kind of science that tells us that we'll survive this, because we won't. But yet we'll spend billions of dollars on upgrading our nuclear arsenal. Crazy and insanity gone berserk. We could spend that on healthcare for all of us. We could have beautiful healthcare, a beautiful healthcare system like in Canada or the UK. Now I'm going to get all these people saying they have the worst healthcare ever. No, they don't. Their healthcare actually works when you compare it to ours and how pathetic ours is. So anyway, that's pretty much what I wanted to say today, was how terrible and horrible the military spending has gotten, to the point of over $1 trillion a year. That's over half the discretionary spending that's spent on the U.S. every year. And if you think about all the payoffs to all the people that are in Congress, where they go and steal all this money one way or another, and we don't do anything about it. Hooray for the military-industrial complex. Freedom. Right. Freedom for the very wealthy, and the very wealthy, rich, are the only ones that get anything from this. I appreciate all your comments, and I definitely appreciated all the comments on the last video about the collapsing ice sheets that are happening in this Antarctic and how we need to do something, but we're not going to. We're going to spend it on the military.